Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Vedic Astrology. Today we'll be discussing the transit of Jupiter into the sign of Cancer, which happened on 18th October 2025. So now, why do we consider Jupiter's transit into Cancer so much of relevant, and why we give so much of importance to it? That's because in the sign of Cancer, Jupiter is considered as exalted. And why does Jupiter gets exalted in the sign of Cancer? That's because its traits of expansion, its traits of nurturing, its traits of motherly love all gel well with the traits of the sign of Cancer. That's precisely the reason why we consider Jupiter as exalted in the sign of Cancer. Let me take you through the more intricacies and the impact which Jupiter will have on all different signs. So let us see the impact of Jupiter transit in Cancer on various moon signs. It's a cosmic homecoming. Jupiter enters into his exalted sign after 12 long years, so approximately 48 days. Yes, the position of Jupiter in Cancer is not going to last not more than 48 days. It's a brief, but it's a transformative window of celestial energy. This transit symbolizes the emotional renewal, spiritual awakening, and a profound focus on home, family, and what truly nourishes the soul. It's like what really gives you happiness to the bottom of your soul. That's what Jupiter has come to deliver in the sign of Cancer. In the sign of Aries, if you see, the 9th house is ruled by Jupiter and the 12th house is ruled by Jupiter, which is Pisces and Sagittarius. So it's currently in the sign of Cancer, which is the 4th house of Aries. So what happens, the the owner of the 9th house, which is the Bhagyesh is the owner of the fortune house. That's why it's called Bhagyesh. It's in the exalted position in sign of Cancer. So it's very good. It bodes very well for whoever people who have their moon in the sign of Aries. So it's a pause. Jupiter urges typically fast-paced Aries to slow down and seek emotional grounding. That's what Jupiter has come to teach you. It makes you focus on family and roots. It builds your future foundations. Acts of tenderness and vulnerability now create the secure base for our next ambitious leap forward. From rush to rest. Aries typically is always in a hurry and always in motion. So Jupiter will teach you to slow down and to focus on your basic family requirements. When we talk about Taurus, the sign of Jupiter falls into the 8th house and into the 11th house, which is the Sagittarius and Pisces. So what happens, 8th house is a house of pain and transformation. In this case, the pain gets amplified because Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer. So people with their moon in the Taurus sign will face too much of transformation and too much of pain in their life. So it's not a good transit for people with their moon in the sign of Taurus. So how do you keep yourself? How do you save yourself from this transformation? You can be safe in this transformation by adopting the qualities of Jupiter, which is honest communication, helping the needy, doing religious work. These all things will help you tide over the bad transit. I won't say bad, it's like not so good transit of Jupiter for people with their moon in the Taurus sign. We'll talk about people whose moon is in the sign of Gemini. So people with the moon in the sign of Gemini, the two signs of Jupiter, Sagi and Pisces, lie in the 7th house and the 10th house. So for them, Jupiter will bring material wealth, but it will be like Jupiter will make you focus on how to accumulate money, how to do business, because typically people with their moon in the sign of Gemini are driven with their brains and less with their heart. So these are the people who think more from their brains and they react and they act as per their brains. They don't listen too much to their heart. So Jupiter will make you look at your instincts, look at what the soul is asking you to do. So when we talk about people with their moon in the sign of Cancer, so for them the sign of Jupiter, which is Sagi and Pisces, falls into the 6th house and the 9th house respectively. So again, the 6th house is the house of house of diseases, house of litigations, house of loan. So that's not a good sign, because the owner of the sixth house, which is the house of diseases, litigation, and loan, is getting exalted. So somewhere people with moon in the Cancer sign will face some difficulty in paying off their debts, or they may see a sudden surge into their diseases. So they should be doing the remedies for Jupiter, which I'll be talking about in the end of the video. Now we'll just brush through other signs because time is pressing. So anyways, the video gets elongated if I start talking on each and every sign for too long. So people with their moon into the sign of Leo, sign of Jupiter, Saggy and Pisces falls into the 5th house and 8th house respectively. So 5th house is the house of your Purva Punya. Purva Punya means the blessings which you carry forward from your past life. So now what do we infer from this? The owner of the 5th house, which is the house of Purva Punya, is getting exalted. The owner of the 8th house, which is the house of transformation and pain, is getting exalted. So the people with their moon in the sign of Leo will get to see the impact of Jupiter in these two fields. They will see the positive effects of the 5th house and the negative effects of the 8th house. People with their moon in the Virgo sign will have the Saggy and Pisces sign in the 4th house and the 7th house respectively. So it's a good combination for them, because 4th and 7th house are the Kendra houses, and the Lord of the Kendra houses being in the exalted sign of Cancer is a good phenomenon for people with moon in the Virgo sign. People with moon in the Libra sign will have the sign of Saggy in the 3rd house and Pisces in the 6th house. So it's like a not very good combination because both 3rd house and 6th house are not very auspicious houses, and their lords getting exalted is not a good thing for people with their moon in the sign of Libra. People with their moon in the sign of Scorpio will have the sign of Saggy in the 2nd house and Pisces in the 5th house. So all in all, both second house, though it being a Marak Bhava, and the owner of the Marak Bhava getting exalted, is again not so very great. But the second sign, which is the Pisces sign, is falling into the 5th house. So it's like a mixed result for people with their moon in the sign of Scorpio. People with their moon in the sign of Sagittarius. So the Lagna Lord itself getting exalted. So that's very auspicious for people with their moon in the sign of Saggy, and the second sign of Jupiter, which is Pisces, falls in the 4th house, which is the house of comforts and luxuries. So again, all in all, it would be the best for people with their moon in the Sagittarius sign, which is with people with the Dhanu Rashi. So people with the sign of Capricorn, the sign of Saggy falls in the 12th house, and the sign of Pisces falls in the 3rd house. So it is not a very good combination, not a good transit for people with the sign with their moon placed in the sign of Capricorn, because they'll experience the ill effects of the 12th house and the 3rd house. People with the sign of with their moon in the sign of Aquarius, the Pisces sign will be falling into the 2nd house, and the sign of Sagittarius will be falling in the 11th house. So it will give them good amount of money, and they'll be able to hoard money, because the sign of 11th and 12th house. 11th house is the house of flowing income, and 12th house and 2nd house is the house of hoarding the income which you get. So the Lord of the income and the Lord of hoarding the money is getting exalted. So it's a good combination for people with the sign with their moons in the sign of Aquarius. People with the sign of Pisces, people having their moon in the sign of Pisces, it's again a good house. Reason being, both the signs Sagittarius and Pisces are falling in the Kendra houses, which is the 10th house, and the Lagna Lord itself, the Lagna Lord getting exalted. So all in all, it's very good for Pisces and also for Sagittarius. So for people with their moon in the sign of Cancer, they have to navigate through challenges and opportunities. It's a bit of mixed thing for people with their moon in the Cancer sign. So Jupiter's cosmic context, why the transit matters? That's because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. It expresses most generous, wise and nurturing qualities. These amplifies the planet's natural gifts exponentially. The alignment perfectly harmonizes with themes of emotional intelligence, home security and intuitive wisdom. So although it's for a short duration of 48 days, it's very significant. Reason being, Jupiter comes into Cancer after 12 long years. So Jupiter's retrograde phase will start from November 11 to December 5, which will make it retrace its own path, because eventually after December 5, Jupiter would enter into the sign of Gemini. So again, Jupiter will be coming back into Cancer next year in the month of June 2026. So that at that point in time, it will come for a longer duration, maybe close to a year. So what is the message? The message is nurture today, flourish tomorrow. Today you do good deeds and you will reap the benefits tomorrow. That's what Jupiter is telling you when it's coming into the sign of Cancer. So you have to embrace emotional intelligence, you have to balance your thought processes, nurture what matters, and leverage your unique opportunities which Jupiter will bring your way. So this was just a generic explanation on the Jupiter's transit on various signs. For a more personalized birth chart reading, you can call me or you can WhatsApp me on the numbers given on the screen. Thank you so much. If you like the video, do share it with your friends and families. Thank you again.